My name is Daniel. I am a health inspector for the Long Beach Health Department, and today I'm going to be talking to you about one of the most important things that you need to do in the kitchen, which is proper temperature maintenance. Whether it's cooking or cooling or just maintaining temperature, it's very important that you get a very strong understanding of what the proper temperatures are and when you need to have those proper temperatures. So why don't we get started? So why don't we start with proper cooking temperatures. Any type of food that you're cooking, you want to make sure that you get it up to a certain temperature for at least 15 seconds. Okay, make sure that you're cooking that food for 15 seconds at that temperature. Now here's the temperatures that you want to remember, and it's very easy. It's just 4 different temperatures, and you'll have it down by the end of this video. First, for poultry, for instance chicken, you need to cook chicken to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Like I said, for 15 seconds. Okay? Next, ground beef. Ground beef you're going to want to cook to 155 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. For fish needs to be cooked to 145 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 15 seconds. And then pork and beef need to be cooked to 145 degrees for at least 15 seconds. So again, just remember, everything needs to be cooked internally for at least 15 seconds. 165 for chicken, 155 for ground beef, 145 for fish, and again 145 for beef and pork.
Hi, my name is Calvin, and I'm with the Long Beach Environmental Health Food Program. And today we're going to be talking about proper cooling procedures. There are 2 stages in the proper cooling procedures. The first stage, once the food enters to the food temperature danger zone and dips under 135, you have 2 hours for the food item to cool down to 70 degrees. The second stage, once the food is at 70 degrees, it has to cool down to 41 degrees within 4 hours. Let's talk about stage 1 in more detail, which is cooling the food item from 135 to 70 degrees in 2 hours. One method used is the ice bath, which is pretty much filling a basin up with ice and water and actually putting the food container inside the ice bath, and that will help the cooling process. Another method used is the ice paddle or the ice wand, which is simply a tool where water is filled inside the device, you freeze it, and that tool is then used as a stirring mechanism to help cool the food item. And lastly, a couple other methods that are used in the cooling process is actually separating the larger portion into smaller portions or into shallow pans. And remember to use a thermometer in each step to monitor the temperature of the food item until it goes down to 70 degrees. Now that we've got the food item down to 70 degrees, we've entered stage 2, in which now we have to cool the foods down from 70 degrees to 41 degrees within 4 hours. Let's look at some examples and how we can cool foods to 41 degrees. Now we're in stage 2 of the cooling process, which is cooling the food items from 70 degrees to 41 degrees. Inside the walk-in cooler, we can see that the food items here are properly stored in smaller portions, and it's also stored in shallow containers. There's some chicken breasts also stored in a shallow container, being properly cooled. So in summary, stage 1, we must cool foods from 135 to 70 degrees within 2 hours. And stage 2, from 70 degrees to 41 degrees within 4 hours. So that is the whole cooling procedure. And remember, there are a couple of things you do not want to do in the cooling process. Number one, you do not want to cool foods at room temperature. Cooling foods at room temperature, not only the food items will not get cool rapidly, but will not get cool evenly. And number two, you do not want to cool large amounts of food inside the cooling units. Otherwise, it'll raise the ambient temperature up and jeopardize the other remaining food items inside the cooler.
Okay, so for the next segment of proper temperatures, we want to talk about reheating. Okay, so we've cooked the food, we've cooled the food, now the customer is ordering it, we have to reheat it over here either on the grill or on the stove. So what we're going to do is make sure that we hit a certain temperature again, a certain internal temperature. What is that? It's 165 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. Okay? So we take the food, we put it on the stove, stir it and cook it, and then we use our thermometer again and measure the food to make sure, we're at 165 degrees, now we're good, and we can serve it to our customer. Now, why do we need 165 degrees for 15 seconds? Because that ensures that we're killing bacteria that could have potentially grown in the process of storing the food or cooling the food after we originally cooked it. So, in a summary, like I said, we cook the food to reheat it. We're reheating the food. Make sure it's at internal temperature of 165 degrees for 15 seconds. The food is now more than likely safe, and we can serve it to our customer.